Yo, what's happening, man? It's Keyboard Kane coming to you all the way live. Your favorite country cousin, your favorite Mississippian, and your best friend, joined by the lovely.
What's up, y'all? It's Ashley FG Norwood. Happy New
Happy New
Year! I wish I had a
Year.
bottle.
You know, some Clico, you heard?
Bottle girl. Woo! Happy New Year. Happy 2022.
We here, man. We made it. Can you believe that?
Listen, these last couple
2022.
years seem like they've been so long. So
Believe
many
that.
people would say, I think collectively,
Yeah.
it's been long. But at the same time, everybody's different. Some people were able to monetize in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Some
big
people were
time.
able to, have personal gains of their own. But a lot of people did lose.
Yeah.
But like you say, we here though.
We here.
We here. So
We
there's
made it.
room and space and opportunity to continue to grow and glow however we see fit. But Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, y'all. And just so y'all know what you tapped into, this is the Family Tree Podcast. I will say this, 2021, I ain't gonna cap. Like,
What about
that
it?
has to been like the fastest year
You think so?
I've ever seen in my life.
You know,
It seemed like it just happened yesterday.
when I think about like early 2021 and like even the summer,
Yeah.
things did. It seemed like it was so long ago, but it really wasn't at the same time. So I can feel that. But then again, like, do we say that every year? That it seemed like it just went by so
You
fast?
know, I think that as we get older, as we age, time moves fast because we have so much to do in so little time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think that's why it kind of goes fast for real, because there's so much stacked on top of each other that we have to do. And when we're younger, there's not much to worry about,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
So that could be a factor
Yeah.
in that whole thing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in addition to that, like some of the common sayings or even customs, like after we complete 1 year, there's a New Year resolution, right?
Facts.
And this is something that I guess I don't even know the first time I decided I wanted to have a New Year resolution, but it's something that I know we've talked about or that's familiar in our culture. It has been for some time. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Even beyond us, I think the first known like New Year resolution tradition may have been like some 4,000 years ago
Wow.
with the ancient Babylonians. You know what I mean? So of course it looks different. We've Americanized it, and even in our black families. I think
Yeah.
about like on the first day of the New Year, black eyed peas and
I
cabbage.
was just about to say this. You make your black
Black eyed peas and cabbage. Look, I saw one of my homegirls say, "Look, I'm gonna have to try something different this year because
Yeah.
the black eyed peas last year, I guess, ain't bring her no money. I know, peace or prosperity. I don't know, but it's just funny, like just thinking about not really why we do things, but it's something that my mom has done like my entire life. She gonna put on a pot of greens
Yeah.
and some black eyed peas on the first day, and she gonna tell us to come over, and we're gonna eat that as a family.
Okay.
And that be that. But we don't really talk about why we do that. It's just kind of like something that we've done for so long. So is it something that y'all do in your household as well?
Honestly, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've honestly did not learn about the black eyed peas and all of that until my mid-20s.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, that's
And
a thing.
when was that? Like, what was your introduction to that?
I was in the A, and one of my friends was just bragging about I need to get my stuff together so I can make my black eyed peas and
Yeah.
cornbread and all this other stuff. I'm like, what is it with black? And then I kept seeing it. I'm like, what is up with the black eyed peas? And then I actually saw, I don't really remember what all the article entailed, but I saw an article and it broke down, why the black eyed peas was a thing. You know what I mean? And more specifically in the black community as well. I wish I remembered exactly how that came about, but I don't. So maybe you can help me out with that.
It's all ancestral.
Okay.
Anything that we do is so innate, and I think that's why we don't talk about why we do it.
Yeah.
Because that conversation is lost over generations.
Facts.
But if Mama made black eyed peas, cornbread, and cabbage greens on the first, and that's just something that you decide to do.
Yeah.
But it's also on you to understand and realize like where that tradition comes from. But it is ancestral. Like we've had our conversations about food and our culture and our community and what they mean, and just like even when we were talking about High on the Hog last season, so it's ancestral.
Okay.
You know.
Is it something that you see yourself doing when you get your family?
Now
You know?
I can make some good cabbage now.
Okay.
I ain't never made no black eyed peas, but you know what I'm saying. We can do that. We can
For
do
sure.
that. So it is something that I would like to do for myself. I haven't done it yet. I'm still spoiled to this point.
Yeah.
But I do think, you know, certain traditions ought to just remain in the family. Because why not?
Why not?
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is just another opportunity for us to come together at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And that's important. You know, anytime we can do that. And then we're eating cabbage rings and black eyed peas. You
Yeah.
know, so it's healthy. You know, it's not like, you know, anything else,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that might be problematic. But something that I do see myself continue. But before I ran on that,
For
you
sure.
know, so you know, but one thing that's for sure, and a question that I had, like coming into this conversation, like,
Okay.
why is there the urge to want to change? You know what I'm saying? Like for the new year, like why do we feel like we have to? Cause look, so many people saying so many different things. Like you gotta have your house clean
Yeah.
by the first. You know, clean out everything so you can walk into the new year fresh. Look, my house wasn't clean from top to bottom last year, you know what I'm saying? But I still got through the year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, can I rest?
Yes.
Like, do I want to be on my feet trying to clean up to walk into another regular day, you know,
Okay.
and another year is ongoing. I get it. But it's like this urge to change so many things and to have your plan by the first. I feel like it's a lot of pressure, quite frankly.
It is a lot of pressure.
And I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
So, like, what are some common New Year resolutions that you hear a lot of people talk about? And, you know, what's your opinion on that?
I don't make personally. I do not make New Year's resolutions. My opinions on why, because I just feel like a lot of people, they make the resolutions and then after like a week or two they go right back
Jesus.
into things that they were doing last year.
It's so
And
easy to
then
do that.
you know what I'm
easy.
saying? You backslide. And it's like, yo, because the gym, the main one that I hear, I need to lose this weight. You know what I mean? And it's not about dieting or working out to get to a certain size, if you will.
Right.
It's a lifestyle for real. Like, don't just make the resolution because you want to lose this weight for this amount. I mean, lose this weight for this certain time of the year and to fit in this certain wardrobe for this season or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Just do that because it's the right thing to do for your body.
I'm going to
Like,
throw my pen at you because I agree. You know what I mean? Like, our physical body, our health, and our fitness, that is one of the most common
it's one of the most common ones.
resolutions. But that's something that we know we can work on at any time.
Anytime.
And we know that the only way we can change these things
Come
is if
on.
we're consistent. So that's my issue with New Year resolutions. Like, you know, we start off one way, but the truth is, it's such a challenge to maintain those goals over the
Facts.
years. So, like, what could I be doing, or maybe not even what I need to do, but how should I even think about this goal? You know what I mean? So, like, in terms of fitness or finance for me, because I'll say, you know, this isn't necessarily a New Year resolution, but I need to save more money in 2022. Because I ain't gonna lie. As I got vaccinated mid-21 and I was outside, I spent too much money.
Outside is like $100 a day or better.
What you wearing? Where you going?
Right.
What you drinking? What you eat?
Yeah.
You gotta have gas.
That
You know what I
shit
mean?
that
Like
shit add up.
it added up so quick. You know, coming from 2020 when I was in the house.
Yeah.
I wasn't going nowhere. Wasn't doing a thing. But 2021 started moving around, so it started costing more. And, you know, I'm grateful for where I am, you know, in terms of my employment, where I can afford things. But I want to be able to see it. You know what I mean? So for
Yeah.
me in this year, a goal is like to save more.
Yeah.
To save more. A lot of
Same.
times we feel like we want more money or we need more money to satisfy our lifestyle, our wants, our desires, and we feel like we need to go get more work. I don't want to do that because getting more work, now I'm overexerting myself when I could really just manage what I got
Talk
a little
about it.
better. You know what I mean?
I love it.
So I'm trying to be strategic. Like, that's how I want to maintain over 22
Yeah.
with this goal of saving more. It's how I'm thinking about it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or even on fitness, sure, I definitely would love to tone up. I don't necessarily have to lose a lot of weight, but, you know, maybe tone up or just get more active because I know it's the right thing to do.
Facts.
But, you know, okay, I'm turning 30 in March, you know.
Hey.
Maybe I want to be on the beach in a little swimsuit or something, you know, and I might
Okay.
have, you know, but I'm thinking about it like, well, that's great. But at the same time, what I'm doing for my finances or my fitness, in the process, I'm becoming more disciplined. You know what I mean? Like, I'm feeling better. I have more energy to do the things that I know I need to do. You
Yeah.
know, like, so it's more thinking about the process versus the end goal.
I love
was
that.
working out today. My first day working out in 2022. Hallelujah. All right. Got it in, you know what I'm saying?
You dig?
And the lady on the tape, the instructor, she was like, it's not about finishing the race. It's about, you know, like making the long run, you know, and or something to that effect. And it kind of stuck with me, like, you know, like that's really what this is about.
That's fire.
You know, like, how do you stride throughout the year? I don't want to just come out the gate sprinting and running, and then I'm tired. And the things I said I wanted to do by next week or March, I'm off track. Like, how can I stride? What's the pace? I mean, all paces are legal, right? As long as you define it. I think you said something like that last season. So talk to me about, you know, just the challenge of trying to maintain over the year some of the goals that we set on day one.
It's just like you said, the big word pressure, because you know I'll be 32 in June,
Come on, 32.
and it's like I saw myself in a totally different way of life by the time I hit 30. And it's like when I hit 30, I didn't hit some of those goals, although some of the things I did plan at 18, 19, 20 were coming back full circle. Took a little over 10 years to get there, but we got there, right? And it helped me to change my perspective on a lot of things in terms of reaching certain goals, because I would beat myself up like, man, what was I doing? Why didn't I hit this goal when I said I was going to do it? Or why am I not at this such and such level at this age, right? And we put time so much on things, and I think it's important that we just let time be time. And because like time, I saw something recently, and it said that time can't be managed, right? But our habits of what we do within the time can
Can't
be
that
managed.
Ooh.
So it's like, okay,
Okay.
let me not focus on the hours of the day so much, right? Let me focus more so on what I'm doing within those hours. Like a lot of people talk about, I've heard some entrepreneurs say this rather, that hey, if they started out as an entrepreneur without a job, instead of being on the job, starting their business and then quitting their job, if they had quit their job to start their business, would they be as active as they were if they had their job? Because a lot of entrepreneurs try to find a certain window to work out of with their side hustle or the business that they're growing.
I got you.
But if you got all that time on your hands, are you really going to utilize that time the way you need to?
Yeah.
A lot of times, no, we not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like managing the habits and the things that we do within the time that we have.
Yep.
That's more important.
A lot of it is about how we look at things.
Big facts.
Yeah, that's what I take from what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even with, like, there's nothing wrong with having goals for the new year. But, like, think about it. Like, maybe even mini goals, right? I know, like, we've talked and when we've celebrated each other, we've said things like, you know, like celebrating even the small wins, right? So even if the big goal is to save so much by this point in the year. Okay, well, you made it through your first month saving so much. You know what I mean? Or your first week saving so much. Or if you want to mend a relationship, you know what I'm saying, with someone in your family. Okay, well, even if, you know, by this particular event or occasion, everything isn't, you know, peaches and cream, but at least you've had some conversations. You know, you've made some breakthroughs. Like, celebrating the small wins. And one thing I think is important in helping us do that is, just like with this journal I have today, I keep a lot of notes in here, but I can go back and see what I've asked for, what I've prayed for, or what God has delivered, or how he's delivered in my life. So I think even keeping a log of things so that you can look back and really see how far you've come.
That's important.
That's helpful as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because
That's
a lot of
self-care.
times, a lot of times we can feel like we haven't done enough, and that's comparison a lot of times too. And this new year, let's leave that in 2021.
Please do. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Listen. I mean, like,
No joy still in this year.
your situation, where you are, your pace, what's happening, everybody is different.
Believe that.
And we cannot get caught up in trying to compare, even with like setting the goals that we want to set for ourselves in this year, So let's leave that in 2021. Is there anything you're leaving in 2021? I don't know. Talk to me about it.
Anything that I'm leaving in 2021. I'm leaving mismanagement
Ooh.
in 2021. So managing my finances better, managing my time better, managing my relationships better, and managing my goals also. If I had to give 2022 a theme,
21 or 22.
22.
Okay.
If I had to give this new year a theme, I would call it fresh lens. If I had to give 2021 a theme, I'll call it blurred lines. Because I was working through a lot of things that I wanted to like get a hold on. I was getting a hold on it toward the end of the year. Now in this new year, because even on the first day of this year, I didn't do nothing extravagant. Like
Right.
New Year's Eve, I smoked a cigar,
Yeah.
sipped on some orange juice, sat in the driveway, and just was really just thankful for my life.
Yeah.
Small things on for me.
Yeah.
The next day, got up in the morning, took my first bike ride, nice 10-mile ride on the Trace. You know what I mean? Grabbed me some breakfast, and I read and I wrote. That was my introduction to 2022. I wanted to enter into the year calm, yet active, right? Because even when it comes to my active journey, talking about fitness, I wanted to look good at first, but now it's just all about feeling good. It's all about fulfillment for me in all aspects. Fitness, my relationships, my career, everything is about, it's not even about chasing the bag no more.
I got
Of
you.
course we want the bag.
Of course.
That's a given.
We gotta have it.
I'm want to chase the bag of fulfillment though.
I like that.
Yeah, man. I have to
Fulfillment.
be fulfilled. Like, it's not about, because you can have all that money, and we hear stories, millionaires, even 100,000aires, having all this money, all this access, but miserable. I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Fulfillment to me is like wholeness. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
Lord.
Like wanting that, seeking that, maintaining that, building on that, encouraging others to have that for themselves. I think that is so important. And if I think about 2021 and in my reflection, I did a lot of new things in 2021.
Okay.
Trying, whether it's practical things or even just and how I discipline myself, and how I control my mind, and how I think about things and perceive things, or like how I interact with others.
Okay.
So I've learned a lot in 2021 about myself. Definitely.
That's lovely.
A lot of my relationships were tested in 2021 as
Okay.
well, and I feel like I came out of 2021 again with my solid people around me, and that's so important, as we get older, because I'm about to be 30, kind of out of the business of quote unquote making new friends, but it's just important, like to know who's with you, who's by you, who you need in your camp, just to have that reminder, and not only to know who's for you, but how you can be for other people. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of that was in 2021.
Yeah.
But 2022, man, it's just up from here.
It's up and it's stuck.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Believe that.
So like in terms of any other lessons, I know in a previous episode we kind of talked, or at least I mentioned, just normalizing changing career directions because a certain thing no longer serves you. That was one of my my big accomplishments in 2021.
Congratulations.
Walking into a new career field, something that I had been praying about for literally at least a year prior to it actually coming into fruition. So, just for my folks out here who are steady praying on it, because I actually asked my followers, like, what are you leaving in 2021? And one of my followers said, like working in a toxic environment.
Wow.
And I realized that, while I made my transition into something that I feel is more beneficial for me, I know it's still a lot of people out here that are trying to find their way, out of certain working environments and into areas or career paths that they feel is going to give them more. So keep going. Like, continue to move in that direction,
It's a marathon.
because while it may not have happened in 2021, it can happen for you. And again, it's just our whole conversation about comparison and about pace,
Yeah.
just because it's not that it's not for you, but it's just when it's going to happen. I would hate for us to give up or quit on something when we're right at the breakthrough, right at it happening for us.
Absolutely.
So, like that was one of my big lessons from 21. And I actually ran across this quote,
Okay.
James Baldwin quote.
Okay.
And it sat with me. And I'm gonna read it verbatim because I don't wanna mess up James' words.
get
You know
it.
what I mean? He said you have to go the way your blood beats. If you don't live the only life you have, you won't live some other life. You just won't live any life at all. So in that time of reflecting and setting my goals and my intentions for the new year, that's a constant reminder. Like, you have to go the way your blood beats. Don't live for anybody else, what anybody else wants for you, how anybody else feels about. No. And I did a lot of that in 2021. Really living for Ashley, making decisions for Ashley. Sometimes I had to prove to myself that I was where I needed to be. And I know that there were people around me, like maybe even my parents, who may have been concerned. And I had to show them that I am where I'm supposed to be, But at the end of the day, I am living my life because it's only my life to live. So walking into 22, I just want to encourage our cousins, man, like, please don't lose yourself.
Don't lose yourself.
You know what I mean?
That's heavy.
And trying to compete
man.
or trying to compare or trying to live according to mama and daddy insecurities about who you are supposed to be or how you. No,
Them trying to live through you.
No.
Yeah. Come on.
So I think this, on our way out of this conversation about new year, new me, like other things that I could say, like, may the tears you cried in 21 water the things that shall grow in 22.
Ooh, that's fire.
Because I know while I didn't spend a lot of time crying in 21, I know some people that had it rough in 21. Life happened. So to you who had a rough 21, I just hope that the tears you cried will water what shall grow in 2022.
Yeah, it's
Pain ain't got to be in vain. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I like that. There's two ways you can look at that too, right? You can look at it as being buried or being planted.
Talk about it.
So, let's look at this thing as being planted. We still got room to grow. We still have a lot of things to see and accomplish, and man, that just touched my soul, what you said about so simple yet so profound. It's my life. M-Y. It's mine. You know what I mean?
It's yours.
So again, like Ashley said, don't be living for nobody else. Make sure you're doing what is of satisfactory to your heart and your soul, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to live with that.
Yeah.
So let's make sure that we making the right decisions for ourselves.
And just like
in
we
this new
might,
year.
and like we coming into the new year with different goals and intentions, some of that might change,
Yeah,
right?
and it's okay.
So should I feel bad? You know what I mean? Like if I said I wanted to meet this goal on day one, but then come springtime, it has changed some, or it looks a little bit different. It's just like in storytelling, right? Like when I get a new story and I go out and I'm chasing that story, I know exactly where I want to go. I know the questions I want to ask. But at the same time, I have to give myself grace and space to allow the story to develop on its own.
Facts.
Because a lot of times we can't control everything, right? So even in a situation as a storyteller, I know I can control the story. But a lot of times, the best journalists are those who will allow the story to develop, because that's what's natural, that's what's honest, and that's what's true. And I feel the same for ourselves. Like, don't sleep on your potential, man. Go get that in 2022. You know, for a lot of us who might need that push, that encouragement to go and get it. I'm giving you that. Let's get it. Let's eat in 2022.
Yeah, man.
Let's keep it moving.
Let's keep it moving.
You know? So I think 22 is going to be bright.
One more thing.
What about it?
All right. I've been seeing on the internet, talking to my folks out here. Our words are powerful. Okay? Now, I've been seeing the jokes. I get it. We have fun on social media. That's fine. But again, our words have power, y'all. Some people are saying 2022 as in 2022. Like 2020 all over again. It's like, y'all, don't speak the dysfunction, the toxicity, the pandemic on 2022. Make this your most positive, affirming year that you can. Again, because words have power. Faith come by hearing. What are you hearing? What are you listening to? What are you saying? Not only to others, but to yourself.
Definitely to yourself.
All right? Be mindful of that in 2022.
Where there is no vision, the people who have perished.
They will
That's
perish.
what the good book said, and I believe it. You know, a lot of us like to do vision boards.
Yes, Lord.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I haven't had a physical vision board in maybe like 2 years.
Same. 3 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and my friends were talking about doing a virtual something.
Okay.
We may do that collectively and personally.
Yeah.
But it was something you just said, like, I know that like Black Twitter or just like the humor that Black people have on social media, a lot of times we turn depressing, you know, situations into humor. And I just think about that, like we've been doing it for a very long time because Black people, we have dealt with so many things. Like it seems like we've always had the short end of the stick in a lot of situations, whether it was the pandemic. Who was most impacted in a lot of communities? Black people, you know, or if it was, you know, America, you know what I mean? Like, who's most impacted by a lot of the issues? Black people. And we make humor in lighter situations so that we aren't so sad and sick and depressed about the reality of it. But at the same time, I agree with you. You know, like, even in our humor and our joking, and, you know, and this is how we've made a lot of our reality more palatable, laughing about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, please know that speaking life into it,
Speak life.
that's going to take us further than a couple shits and giggles. You know what I
Believe
mean? So I'm with
Yeah.
you, man. Let's speak life into 2022. 2022 is up. It's here. I mean, who's standing in the way of you reaching your goals? But a lot of times yourself. So, like, just like we, you know, identify the things, the habits, the people, whatever that's caused us to kind of stay stuck where we've been for so long. At the same time, let's make sure we're reflecting and identifying some of the issues that we have within ourselves and that we can better
Big facts.
in order for us to get what we want.
Yes,
you know?
Lord.
So,
I love to
2022,
see it.
it's up.
It's up.
New
2022.
year.
Once
Who dis?
again,
New year, new me.
Happy New Year
Happy New Year, folks.
to all our cousins out there. You know, it's me, Key Marcy, and Ashley, FG.
In this thing.
You know,
The
The
Family
Family Tree
Tree.
Podcast, man. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Love.
And respect.